Hey, welcome to the yearly video. Needless to say, a lot has happened through this past year, and it's absolutely incredible for what has happened. And for what hasn't. So, yeah. But I think to make these yearly videos a lot easier on myself is that I have made a yearly world. A world that not only showcases my building talent, which probably isn't much, to be completely honest with you, but to also just make it, again, a lot easier on myself here. So yeah, how about we go over to what I deem the yearly house. Let's go inside and head on to the green screen room. But first off, go ahead and take a look at this unfurnished room. Yeah, I have no idea what to add to this just yet, but I can figure that out as soon as things happen. Anyways, let's go downstairs to the green screen room. Here we are. Now, how about we go ahead and take a look back at the year? I'm just going to be talking about some general news that are somewhat related to gaming and what video games have released and games that I have played, sort of, bi-monthly. So we're just going to go ahead and start out here with the Sonic 3 movie came out, and holy crap, it is amazing. No spoilers, because yeah, but it's really good. Something that came by in a bit of a close second for being just generally cool was the Game Awards. I did watch it on Twitch with a friend of mine, and watching it on Twitch kind of wasn't worth it because they had Warframe for as a Twitch drop, and that kind of sucked, but whatever. You could have just not made the movie like this. The Wii U and 3DS died. I'm not crying at all. I forget that this was the year that the Apple Vision Pro released to a price tag that is pretty much a regular iPhone. And it's the fact that the Valve Index being at only $1,000 has it beat is crazy. I swear, at the price of the Vision Pro, I could buy 4 indexes, and I might still have enough to buy something else. The PS5 Pro released to Jesus fucking Christ, that is the price of the system, no thank you. And they say that the graphics are different? Honey, no they're not. They look the same. I mean, sure, the foliage looks a bit nicer and the text on some signs look more legible, but really it's not different. And finally, the PlayStation 30th anniversary kicked off. Not only changing the feel of the console to where you can have different feels of the PlayStation's past, I chose the PlayStation 3, cry about it, and also the fact that whenever you open it, it does something amazing. And finally, the entire launch of the different 30th anniversary consoles. Yes, the Pro is on there. Yes, it's still the price that it is, but it feels a lot more logical, I guess. Still not buying it, though. And now, to start off with the gaming news, I'm just going to be going through January all the way down to December, starting off with The Last of Us Part 2, and Part 2 releasing. And yes, this is a running joke that I have to where The Last of Us has released on so much different consoles, and so I call it oh, this is The Last of Us Part 1, and now we're at Part 2, which is crazy. Anyways, yeah, that's kind of it. I forget that this is the year that Helldivers 2 got released. I thought it released last year, but no, it released this year. And honestly, it really proved to be a very fun game. Sure, I did fall off on it after a couple of months or so, but I hope that this year, or maybe next year even, I can get back into Helldivers 2. Also, I'm not doing a mission because I hate people. Pacific Drive got released, a very weird, open world survival game where you're taking care of a car. And I'm thinking wow, that sounds boring, but it's actually kinda cool. Also, to any Final Fantasy heads that watch my videos, is this a remake or is it a new game? Because I don't know. Okay, next up, Warzone Mobile released. Yep, I'm talking about a mobile game. This is not the only one I'm going to be talking about. Anyways, what a nothing burger of a mobile game. Princess Peach Showtime released, and it's an inoffensive game. I kind of like it, but it's also kind of meh at the same time. Content warning released, and I actually didn't know that it did release in April. I thought it released last year, kind of like with Helldivers, but yeah, no, it just released this year in April. And there's only one clip that I have that truly explains my love for this game.
Content warning day 2. Let's get it. Yeah, baby.
Next we got Sonic Mania on mobile. And I'm not gonna hide it, this is the worst port of Sonic Mania there is of all time. If you have literally like any game system that can potentially run Sonic Mania, just pick any of those, not this mobile port, which released through Netflix. Why? But anyways, yeah, don't play a mobile version, play literally anything else. Okay, bye. Can't believe that XDefiant released after all of these months. I've been waiting for XDefiant's release since like the first open beta that came out. And since the game released, I really fell off of it, came back to it as of recent, and I just learned that the game's dying, so I'm kind of sad, but it was a good game. At least better than Call of Duty in any regard. Luigi's Mansion 2 is a nothing burger because Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon was also kind of a nothing burger as is, that released on a 3DS of all things, so yeah, that's it. I have no comments on The First Descendant apart from the fact that it was a game that I played in open beta. I thought it released like a couple months after, but no, it released in 2024, and okay, that's pretty cool, I guess. Zenless Zone Zero is a game that I thought I would never get into, but lo and behold, I did. Somehow, because it's a Hoyoverse game, and Hoyoverse made Genshin and Honkai, and so I thought, oh, it's another fucking Hoyoverse game that I'm gonna hate. But no, I genuinely like the game a lot, and plus it's mindless gambling and I love it a lot. Also, I feel true pain because I just rolled an S, and it was a fucking W machine or whatever the hell they're called, and I am truly upset. Why am I talking more about Zenless more than anything else? Something that I never thought would happen, admittedly, is that we have a release of Ao Oni on current systems. And I don't know, I feel like it's kind of weird, because Ao Oni on itself is an old like RPG Maker horror game that released way back when, and the only way that you could play it is through that. But then eventually a shitty mobile port came out a couple of, I think, like months or maybe years later, and now we have this, which is kind of the mobile port, but it feels more stable, I guess. Meh, I don't know. Oh, thank goodness you're here is a British game that is so aggressively British that I really want to play it so bad because it's British. Yay. After a good long 16-year wait, World of Goo 2 finally released, and it is possibly the best game that I have ever played. Granted, I've not completed it yet because I've not been in the mood to play it as of late, but holy crap, it is so amazing. And reminder, the first one released on the Wii. It was a WiiWare title. Holy moly, this is crazy. Five Nights at Freddy's Into the Pit released, and it's a really cool game that is not Security Breach, so there's that. Also, don't mind me skill issuing here hard because I'm playing with a PlayStation controller, but apparently the game recognizes it as an Xbox controller. I died. Concord is a game that released and died, oh no. Ignore that this is PC gameplay, but Pizza Tower on Switch released, and it makes me realize that Nintendo should just make a new Wario Land game, because they just should, and it's really cool. Risk of Rain 2 on PS5 released. Ignore that this is PC gameplay yet again, and also the fact that It's kind of been a thing already, but it's only the PS4 version of the game that was on us for about a couple of years. But yep, a definitive version of Risk of Rain 2 is now on the PS5. Ignore my skill issue gameplay here because I suck at the game. I also got a lot of achievements in the game about like the span of a month, so that's pretty cool, I think. Yippee. A recent internet addiction of mine became web fishing because it's just Animal Crossing, but it's just the fishing and it's pretty fun. Yippee. Sonic X Shadow Generations, or how I better call it, Sonic Yowie, is a remake of Sonic Generations, which released over like about a couple of years ago at this point, like 2013 or something. I forget when it did it, but whatever. Despite the fact that Gens isn't really different, Shadow Gens is amazing, and he's very cool. Slide cancel at each other sick. Wait a minute, I mean Black Ops 6 released. I have nothing else to say about it. Peak Ship released. Mario and Luigi Brother Ship released, and it's really fun. I like it. Plus, also, this is the best scene of the game. Don't at me. And finally, oddly enough, Animal Crossing Pocket Camp came back. But it's like a complete package that you can buy right now. I wasn't much of a Pocket Camp goer when the game initially came out. I just thought like, oh hey, it's an Animal Crossing game that you can play on your phone. I did again play it, but not for very long. Not at least long enough to warrant the complete edition. And sure, it's only $10. I might get it. Maybe. And that's it for all the gaming related news. But in terms of content-worthy stuff, this is actually, again, not the worst set of uploads I had, kind of like last year. Except I feel like I did a lot more this year. I don't know. I probably didn't, because I'm just talking to myself about it, but whatever. I probably did a lot more. Anyways, yeah. This is probably my most highest ever video, because I've literally gotten a bunch of videos, reinstalled a bunch of games to get footage, things like that. So, I think for now what we should do is close the doors on the yearly house, and we will see you all next year in 2025. And for now, bye-bye, have fun, and see you next year or something. What do people say?